All right. All right, it's Yamato versus Teach. I know this is a really favorite matchup for you, but maybe like the way I think through things could be insightful. But anyways, in this matchup, I do think I want to go. Swing 7, turn 3. I'm gonna just go first. I think a lot of people's like gut reaction is to go second, but I still think going first is fine. Okay, so I'm gonna pass here, and I know I have a searcher for Nami, but the reason why I don't want to search this turn is because I get to see an additional card next turn if I search next turn. If you look at my 3-Don turn, like, I know you run Morgan, but I don't really want to run Morgan against Teach. But I don't really want to, sorry, I don't really want to play out Morgan against Teach. Primarily because I'm playing on curve. Basically, I don't know if you're familiar with the term playing on curve because you come from Digimon, but like playing on curve means like I have a play from I have a play every turn after turn 7 where I pretty much don't have any extra Dawn to attach to a Morgan to swing with, right? So I don't really want to play Morgan on 3, and I'd rather, and if you look at my hand, like I would rather oh, he left. Okay, let me explain my thought process. Okay, so maybe this is better. I have a lot to say. That's why there's a lot to talk about in this game. But like going so against the Teach, like I don't really want to play out Morgan turn 3. I don't really generally like playing out Morgan turn 3 anyways in this deck because I want to find my pieces. If you looked at my hand, I didn't really have a 6-cost Yamato. I didn't have a Kinemon. I didn't have anything of that sort. So I would rather spend that 3 Dawn to search something. Who the fuck just joined? Hey, I'm recording right now, Chris. Shut up.
Well,
Anyways, I would rather spend. Do you want me to stream?
I didn't hear you because I just my mic turned on.
Oh,
What
I'm
are you what are you
I'm
talking about?
recording for your friend. So I was in the middle of a game, but then I kept talking about stuff. Turn 1, and then that guy left. But anyways, like I was saying, so I didn't really want to play Nami turn 1 there because um I don't really have a 3-Don play other than playing out searchers. And I want to play out searchers in this deck. If you looked at my hand for that first 5, Aaron, like I didn't really have the pieces for this entire deck. This deck is a very combo oriented deck. Like you need to find the cards that you need to see on your key turns, right? So going first, like I want to see a Kinemon on 5 because this also enables me to find other pieces of my combo. And then on turn 7, I want to use the event, which I did have in my hand. But I need the Yamato in my trash first, right? And then on my 9-Don turn, I want a Momonosuke and a Shinobu in my hand, and I just loop that combo over and over afterwards, right? But like from that first turn, the reason why I didn't search with Nami was because I wanted to draw an additional card on my 3-Don turn so that I have more knowledge of what I have in my hand before I search. That's like kind of the methodology behind not searching turn 1. Because I'm not going to use that 3-Don on my 3-Don turn to do anything else but search, right? So like that's what I was explaining to you before he left. All right, I'm gonna cue another game.
I'm on
That
vacation,
guy, that guy,
baby.
that guy fucking he left because I was taking too long. I was just
It's
yapping.
probably because you're playing Yamato.
Yeah. Okay, this is good. This is good. Okay, I'm playing against Anel. Okay, Yamato generally
It's
wants to go second. I think second, going second for Yamato is good. I mean, you're a going first and a second deck, but I think against specifically Enel, to play this game optimally, you need to know how every deck works in this game, and Enel is broken if it goes first. So you want to take first away from them. So I'm gonna go first. Okay. The things I generally want to see in my starting hand are searchers plus pieces of my combo. So I have a Shinobu. I have a event that I'm gonna play on my 7-Don turn, right? Because this is 100% my 7-Don turn, and then I'm gonna play Nami. I think against Enel, you can't rush them down because I think they'll just KO your board and do all their shenanigans. But generally, you want to go for board control using your 2K Otama. So right now I have like my turn 7 play and my turn 9 play, and I have a turn 1 play or a turn 3 play probably. It's kind of risky to keep this hand, but I'm gonna keep it, and then we'll see what happens. I'm gonna pass here, so I'm not gonna search turn 1 because I want to see another card on my next turn before I search to try to see what I need. Right? Um, I mean, okay. It's not like okay, nothing in this game is linear, right? Like I'm not gonna say like always go for board in the Yamato and L matchup. Like depending on how your opponent plays and responds with the cards that he has and what he plays out, you can like change your game plan. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a Nami search. So we have 4 options here. I'm definitely taking Kinemon here, but let's say I had a Kinemon in my hand, I would take Yamato so that I could trash it with Robin, and then I can keep searching. But I'm taking Kinemon like 100 times out of here because I see 2 of them in that search, and the chances of me drawing another one by the next turn is very low. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna swing 5. Okay. That's it. I don't like playing out blockers like this because Yamato's NL has El Thor and events like Mamoragan to rest them. So blockers that are low power like this are very low value. He's just leader affected at 3 Dawn, which means he's gonna play a 4-drop this turn, which means he's not gonna swing at us with this. There's only gonna be a 5-drop. Okay, so like I know a lot of people say to initially just take the first hit, but in against Enel, which is a very aggressive deck, like he's gonna play a 4-drop this turn, which means next turn he's gonna swing a 5 or whatever 4-drop he plays, he swings at me, and then another 6 at me, right? So I think I want to counter this hit, just because like I'm thinking to myself like next turn I'm swinging with my leader and playing out Kinemon. So the only target that he has to swing at me next turn is my face. So because I'm going to be taking hits next turn anyways, I'm just going to counter this hit just in case I get punished somehow later. So yeah, we're just going to Kinemon here. Okay, we get the 8-cost Yamato's event in trash, which is fine, but we don't have a 6-cost Yamato, so it's good to take a Nami here so that we can search for it. Still didn't find it, but we did find a Momonosuke. So we could take the Momonosuke for our turn 9 turn, and we have this for our 7 on turn, but we don't have a 6-cost Yamato yet. So I'm kind of worried now that it's in my life, which would suck. Alright.
You went golfing today, Andrew?
I'm gonna go to the range later. So we can
it's you
expect
from
him to
that?
drop a 6-cost L here. He didn't hit the 6-cost L, which is really big for us. Having a 6-cost L here would be like kind of annoying to deal with, especially since we don't have a Onami in our hand to like reduce the power so that we could swing into it with our 8-cost Yamato, right? But that's fine. He chooses to Gum Gum Lightning and Frankie. He pitches away a Chitin. Swings 6 at me. So I'm assuming 6/6 pass because he doesn't want to swing this Reiju until it's buffed, or he could use another event and go 6/6/7 at me. I think I'm down to take 2 hits this turn. But the most he could swing at me the next turn is a 6, or the next hit is a 6 with an L. So I'm just gonna take this hit. So it's in my life, which fucking sucks, but it's all good. All right. So 6 at me. I'm gonna counter with the Luffy 2K because that's the one I don't need the most in this matchup. Right? These two I obviously want to play out. Good thing is we have 1-drops to be able to swing into it. So, all right. So we're just gonna play Yamato here, and then we'll pitch probably Morgan. I find Morgan to be very low value in this matchup. Again, it's like a blocker that's very low power. It's very easy for Nell to deal with. So I think starting here, you can start to consider like, okay, do I need a Yamato? Like, let's say I didn't have a piece of my combo for my next turn, my 9-Dawn turn, right? Like, I would pick up a Yamato 8-cost unblock this one so that I could pick up like the piece I needed for the next turn, right? Honestly, wait, okay, Loki, it's not bad if I do that right now. Because he can like Gamma Knife There's like multiple lines that I can consider right now. I'm gonna try to speak fast because I have 14 minutes to play this game. But like one, you can play out this Yamato because it's sticky. Sticky meaning like on KO, like it plays out a Yamato from trash so that he's incentivized to not swing into it, right? Which is good in matchups like Enel that try to KO your board. But you can also like shit out this Yamato, which picks up a body, right, and plays out a card. I'm only considering this because I want to leave up a Dawn for my event, and I also want to play out this Robin to pitch this Yamato from my hand so I can draw more cards, right? Because I want to find that Momonosuke for my next turn, right? And the good thing about playing out a Yamato like this is that he will swing into it 100%. So I'm basically forcing him to not go for a 6 Dawn in L turn and then commit his Dawn to use a Gamma Knife to swing into this Yamato, which I am more likely. I like that more currently. So in this situation specifically, I'm going to go for that. So I'm going to use this card, and I'm going to pick up, let's see, what do we need the most here? I'd pick up a Nami, I think. Like, obviously, like, your first instinct is to pick up a 2K, but, like, I really need to find my Momonosuke next turn to get, like, additional value, right? So I'm going to pick up a Nami here, and I'm going to play out this Robin, so trash this and draw 2. I'm going to leave up a Dawn, and then I'll just keep swinging 5 at him. But this is kind of like the thought process I have for playing a lot of stuff, right? Like, this deck specifically, like, you have a lot of rush because of your leader effect, so it's really good because, like, you don't really mind it if your board gets KO'd. And right now, I'm healthy and he's going lower than me, so I'd rather him swing into my board and reduce my board rather than swing everything at me because my body's sticky. I want to play out my sticky bodies later in the game, where I'm gonna like basically force him to try to go for game, where I can just wall up and leave up Dawn so that I don't die, right? And you see right now, like, okay, he's just KOing it, but that's fine. And right here, I think I want to defend aggressively. I think we can give a 2K here. I don't think it matters which 2K I give between Shinobu and Momonosuke. The only thing was be like, okay, how many do I have in my trash? So if we look at our trash, already a Momonosuke's in trash, which means there's only one Momonosuke left in deck, but there's 2 Shinobus left in deck. So I'm going to counter with the Shinobu over the Momonosuke because it's statistically more likely for me to draw another Shinobu than it is another Momonosuke. And then if he swings 7 here, so I know I said I wanted to take 2 hits. If he swings with 6 with the leader here, do I want to give him? Did I give him a 2K, 2K, and then take these 2 hits? Okay, so right now in this point, I know that like at most what he could do is swing a 6 with a Frankie and then a 7 with a Reiju, or 6 with the leader and then 8 with Reiju, right? So I'm gonna take this hit because I would just give another 2K for this Frankie swing and then take the Reiju swing. Or if I take this and he swings with this, I could just give a ground death for the Reiju effect. I want to get as much value out of my counter as possible. Right now, I just want more information about what my top life is. So this gives me a play next turn in case I don't find Momonosuke, right? So I'm going to play out Nami next turn. And if I don't find Momonosuke to trash, I'm not going to do the Shinobu Momonosuke combo, and I'll probably just go into a Yamato combo. He's leaving up all his blockers. I don't know why. That kind of makes me want to go for the KO Yamato rather than the pickup Yamato. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But we're going to search for Nami first to see what we find in top 4. So no Momonosuke yet. What to do here? I think I'm going to pick up Shinobu. I don't really need any of this. And because the 6 cost Yamato is in my trash, I could go for like a different play. So I know like we have our 6 cost Yamato here, and then we have, so we're definitely not going to do this because we don't have Momonosuke, right? But the play is between these two, right? And it's about how much more value I can get for each play line, right? So I'm going to swing a 5 here, And depending on what he does with this 5k swing, if he just blocks with Reiju, I'm going to go for this event so that I can get an additional 5k swing with the Yamato from my trash. If he just gives me a card, there's no point in me doing this because the next 5k swing, he can just block with this, and then I'm going to have an unblockable after, right? So that 5k swing that I would get from using this event rather than just playing this out wouldn't matter because he would get a free block from the Reiju. So depending on how he counters out of this 5 is what I decide to either do this card or this card. So he gives me a card. So there's no point in me having a rush from this like Yamato from trash, right? So I'm just gonna play it out so that I don't have to do it. I mean, I don't have an ACOS in my hand. I'm probably just gonna pitch Robin. Okay, he plays an L here. This is playing super slow, in my opinion. Like, this is probably like 2 turns late. I don't know why he's not tapping. I don't think this NL player is very good, Aaron, but you know, it's fine. It's all about the thought process from our side, right?
Bro. Hi, Andrew.
I'm recording something for a friend right now. Okay, so 5 at life. Okay, so I like laying out like the different. He's making it really easy for us, but I like always thinking to myself like, what are the additional swings that he could potentially punish us with, right? So because he already like attaches Dawn and everything, we already know, and he already used all of his Dawn, right? But he's gonna do 5, a potential 5, a potential 7, and a potential 10. I definitely want to counter out of this first 5. So I think at this point in the game, I'm never going for board. I'm trying to like force him into a lethal position. So I don't think this Otama is very high value anymore. If he played out like an Enel on his 3rd turn and he's tapped it by swinging into something, then I can play like a longer game. But like this is what I was talking about in the beginning of the game where what the opponent does kind of dictates what you do, right? So like he played very slow and didn't tap any of his board, so it kind of incentivizes me to be more aggressive. So I think at this stage of the game, I'm never going for board. So I'm just gonna give this Otama counter because I don't really need it. I'm definitely like just gonna play out unblockable Yamatos from this point on, and then just keep swinging at him. If I wanted to go for board, I'd play like this unblock on this like brick Yamato, so that I can add the Otama and then play out the Otama and then reduce his board so I can swing into it, right? And then like, you know, because this body is not sticky, it causes him to swing into it rather than going for my life, which is what I want. Yeah, we'll just take this 10. A 2 life is like a good life to stay around. I don't think he can go for lethal if I have 2 life, right? And I can start forcing stuff from him. So I'll go another 5 here. The same reasoning behind this, right? Like I'll go 5 here to see whether I need to get value from getting the rush Yamato or not. It really sucks that I don't have Momonosuke in trash, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so we're gonna play Yamato from trash. Yamato effect, draw 1. We can trash the Morgan. Because we want to leave up Dawn here. Okay, so the base thing right here is like, you know, maybe you could get baited into swinging 7 here, right? But in my mind, like, I'm swinging an 8k Yamato at him and then another 8k unblockable Yamato at him. He's going to be at 0 life, right? Now, you can, like, try to get value off of the 7k swing so that the Rage doesn't get a free block, but I know for a fact that if I put him to 0, he's going to try to go for game next turn. And if he goes for game, I need, like, Dawn up for events, right? And the chances of my life being like, you could be tracking like obviously like how many events are gone. Like I think the list that you sent me, you had, I don't remember, like 7 events. So we have 1, 2, 3 Yamato events in trash and no ground deaths and none of the GARP. Because I think you were running two ground death, 4 Yamato events, and then 1 GARP event. So we have 3 Yamato events in trash, 1 left in deck. one more Ground Death left in deck, and one more Garp left in deck. I have 8 cards left in deck. Like the chances of that is like what 3 out of 8. So like, give or take like 40% that it could be in my life also. Oh no, sorry, 3 out of 10. So 30% chance that like it could be in my life. So I'm not gonna use my Dawn here. I'm not gonna tap it just in case like one of these is one of those counter events for the turn that he goes for lethal. So I'm just gonna swing a 5 here. We'll force him to 0. Either we get, 2/2Ks out of here, or we force him to 0, and then we can go for game the next turn. Okay, nice. He gave a lot of counter. So I leave 3 Dawn up here. He can't KO these, because if he KOs it, then I'll just play out the 6-cost Yamato, and then we'll go for game the next turn. So I think he has to go for game here. And then we can try to bait him into it by, like, kind of mathing out, like, what's his, like, lethal line, quote-unquote. So, like, we can kind of see how much... We have so much counter in our hand. We have, like, what, 6 2Ks and then a 4K event, and potential more 2Ks here. Okay, so this first swing here, he has 2K. So Enel, the way... I don't know if you know how Enel works, but Enel can use his Dawn and then, like, use Dawn minus event cards like Mamaragan and Enel and, like, Elthor and, like, all his shit to minus it all back, and then use his ability to ramp all that Dawn back and then attach it to somebody, right? So, like, I can kind of see, like, okay, he's using 2 here to swing 7, and then he could swing another 7 with 1, another 7 here, and then ramp in the back a 9 and like a 14. So like 7 7 7 7 7 7 9 14 potentially, right? Is the if he has events to use in his hand. So I'm gonna just counter out of this first one. Yeah. I don't know what he's trying to do. Maybe he sets up like another blocker here. Okay, another 7, right? So this one I want to take just because I want to. Not that like I think he's like going to, but like sometimes like maybe they can like try to extend the game by leader affecting getting 1 Dawn active, has 4 Dawn, can play another Frankie, cycle his hand, and like get a lot of counter, right? So I want to take the try to like bait him into going for game because I think I can counter out of every other hit. So I'll just take it. Okay, swings an 8 here. So we know that like he could potentially minus like all this rest of this Dawn. And then he can swing like 11 with this and then like a 10 11 for game. So I want to counter out of this so that he does one. He has to go for game with the Reiju and then the Enel. So I'm just going to give it Ground Death. It's like good numbers for it. I have more than enough counter. I have 4 2Ks and a 1K. So I can counter out of a 7, 9, 11, 13, 14. 13 swing. And then we can check like in his trash to see how many Elthors he has. Because that kind of matters for Enel, right? Like he has 1 Elthor, 2 Elthors in trash. He could potentially buff his Enel by like twice and then attach this on. So it'd be a 13k swing. And I have enough for a 13k swing already in my hand. So I'm okay with taking this. Yep. Okay. That's kind of how I think in games. I hope it helps.